following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome in to a Thursday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, talking a little prep sports with Metro Nashville Schools AD Mr. Mark North will be joining us in about 14 minutes from now, so stay tuned for that. Also, the Men's College World Series. Well, we've got just one more to set the finals as Arkansas held on to the Rebels last night with a win and a winner-take-all today. The Braves and the Giants currently in action. A slew of Major League Baseball games today. It's moving day, apparently. And NHL Stanley Cup Game 4 last night in overtime. A little controversy. We may talk about it also. The PREDS held a presser earlier today. More news and information about potentially the new lead owner of the PREDS, one former governor, Bill HASLAM. All that and more coming up on this edition of Main Street Sports today. Over to the Hall of Famer. Another blue shirt today. That's 2 blue for the week. And the white and gray over there, the Sundrop Kid, little salt and extra salt.
Very little pepper these days. Very little pepper in the beard these days.
I wasn't sure where I was going, but anyway, there you go.
I'll tell you.
Happy Thursday, gentlemen.
It is Thursday. Happy? Perhaps. I'm happy. I did, well, the trip to the 15-month trip to the pediatrician was this morning, and after 6 months or more of trying to get rid of an ear infection, we have succeeded.
All right.
Charlie no longer has an ear infection.
Hey, Charlie.
She's still here.
And she's alive, which is like half the battle.
Hey, I mean, every day that happens, it's a good day.
So this means you guys are allowed to have another one, right?
I hope so.
It's been wild, man.
Your card hasn't been pulled yet for the one to come, right?
Yeah, this 6 month.
Good for you.
This 6 months of an ear infection has been rough, but finally that we've gotten through it, we crossing our fingers, it will continue. So excited! It has been a happy Thursday, if for nothing else, that. So
there you go.
Anyway, we do have a fantastic show. Looking forward to it, and we have our top story today coming from the gridiron, the opening kick on this Thursday. A little recruiting news. Finally, we have an answer as to where the fourth Manning will go.
Were we really? Who was asking, though? I mean, as you say, we finally have an answer. I mean,
well, I guess Georgia, Alabama, LSU,
the whole world, Mo.
Ole Miss, and Texas were particularly interested in this. Here in Tennessee, we, for whatever reason, it just felt like there was no chance that Tennessee was going to land Arch Manning, and so
maybe Nico Iamaleava had something to do with that.
It very well could have. And here's the thing, with Alabama's success, in the at least recruiting star power at quarterback, you didn't think that, with Ty Simpson, et cetera, you didn't think Arch would make that move either. Mm-hmm. So Texas certainly seemed to be a place where he was the only big name to sign to that class. And then again, you've got Steve Sarkisian, who is a pretty darn good offensive mind. It's a good fit for Arch. And again, he's going to be playing in the SEC.
Yeah, I think that's the point that kind of gets missed in this. He's signing with Texas, or he's committed to Texas as part of their 2023 recruiting class, but he's going to play
at least 2 seasons
in the SEC.
At least 2 seasons in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, well, depending on how long he stays.
Well, that's true too. I guess he may have to hold a press conference like his uncle. Who knows if he's that good? He very well may be. I'm not super surprised. I think it's a good fit for him, and congrats to the kid. This is a tough thing for for kids like Arch Manning and for Ty Simpson, this is a difficult process, and they finally get it over with.
With all due respect to Ty Simpson, I think you're comparing apples and lug nuts. I think, when you come from the pedigree that Arch Manning is coming from, I just think that, and our buddy Bruno Reagan, had a tweet earlier today about the pressure that I think the pressure that this kid is under is unlike anybody else. And granddad,
both of his uncles,
his granddad probably should be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Well, absolutely.
Is Peyton in? Has that happened yet?
Yes, because his bust has the
that's right
37-inch
the 6 head.
Yeah.
Eli's gonna be. So the expectations for this guy are just through the roof, and anything short of 5 touchdowns and 600 yards in his debut is going to be a failure. It's just tough.
To remind me, because I was young, I didn't care about Ole Miss football, but you were covering Tennessee when Peyton was there. What was the expectation for Eli? Was it, following in his dad's footsteps at Ole Miss? Was that expectation there, and how does that compare to this?
I think that expectation was there for Eli, again, coming off of, what Peyton had done earlier, playing for David Cutcliffe, who had been OC at UT when Peyton was there. Again, going to his dad's alma mater, where the speed limit was 18 for Archie's jersey number all over campus. So the expectations were there for Eli, but but there was no Twitter.
Right. There's a difference now.
Oh, absolutely. And
because he can see the pressure coming from the fan base, whereas those guys really didn't have to. The only pressure was coming from news media, because that was the only thing you could see physically or hear, necessarily, or sports talk radio and that sort of thing. And it wasn't even that big in the early 2000s.
Right. So everything has grown exponentially, and the exposure for him at the high school level has been different than anything that either Eli or Peyton dealt with before they even hit campus. So
I'm far more concerned where that wide receiver ends up, because that cat was he may have been the real star of the show.
And when you've got a quarterback rolling up numbers, he's got to be throwing it to somebody.
Somebody's helping him out.
Yeah,
he ain't throwing it to himself.
No,
Marcus Mariota's here.
So it bears watching, and like you said, he's in what you would think would be a good situation with a Steve Sarkisian at Texas. But man, it's gonna be a show.
How many additional years to his contract did Steve Sarkisian just add? At least 2?
You would think, but the flip side of that is, Joe Tessitore and others be damned. Is Texas back?
You got to produce with that. With what is it? With great expectations comes great responsibility. Something along
like
those lines.
Yeah.
My point being that they're not going to fire him after this year if Arch is in the wings, and then they're not going to fire him after his freshman year.
He gets at least a year
until a year
with Arch. He gets at least a year of Arch.
Sure,
no question.
That was where I.
But is this guy your starter the minute he walks on campus?
Well, based on what we've seen from Texas in the last couple of years, who else would be? What does that say to the guys that play that position that are on campus now? Be better, get better.
2 words: transfer portal.
That too.
Right.
Yeah. So it's going to have a domino effect, both the kids who are on the team and 2 wide receivers who want to come play with Arch Manning. I mean, you're gonna have some positives to that. Now, how it helps you in the run game, who knows? But hey, we'll see. We'll see.
It's going to bear watching for sure. I'm kind of looking forward to it, and there's always hype around Texas, so this will only add to it.
And then you add a Manning in the mix, and who knows?
Yeah.
Let's send it back to JP in the corner before we take a break for today's rundown. Give it to us. Oh, you could have just.
Is the rundown.
Alrighty then. Here we go. We've got yesterday results. That would be Wednesday. Major League Baseball, the Dodgers, and they defeated the Reds. Hang on, I'm getting the right screen here. Multitasking. There we go. The Dodgers over the Reds, 8-4. Cubs, 14-5 winners over the Pirates. The Braves, 4-3 over the Giants last night. Cardinals, 5-4 over the Brewers. And the Sounds fall to Gwinnett, 7-2, the final last night. Men's College World Series out in Omaha. Oklahoma 5-1 winners over Texas A&M and advance to the College World Series Championship Series. I guess that's how we say that. Best of three. Arkansas held on, and what a thriller. I don't know if you guys saw that one last night. I caught the last couple of innings, and high drama. It was fantastic. And, for it being two SEC West teams, the stadium was packed and raucous. It was fantastic. But Arkansas holds on 3-2 winners.
That's because Arkansas drink all those Jell-O shots.
Sure. So they'll do
yellow shots.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, you don't really drink them.
Work on
Just
that.
kind of slurp them down, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It's almost eating a Jell-O shot, I guess, because it's Jell-O. You eat Jell-O.
Yeah.
All right. They'll play again today. More on that in the schedule coming up. Avalanche last night, 3-2 winners at overtime over the Lightning. A little controversy as a no call of extra men on the ice was not made. I don't know, maybe I think one shift before the goal was scored in overtime, but nevertheless, the Avalanche lead that series now 3-1 as it shifts back to Denver coming up Friday night. WNBA, yesterday was New York 81, Connecticut 77. Today's schedule in Major League Baseball, the teams that we follow are all in action right now, and currently it is the bottom of the eighth. The Braves lead the Giants 7-5. Top of the eighth, the Reds falling to the Dodgers right now. The Dodgers leading 8-5 in that one, and the Pirates lead the Cubs 6-2. That's the top of the eighth, and the Cardinals in the middle of the fourth right now lead the Brewers 2-1 in Milwaukee. The Brew Crew coming to the plate there. So that's your scores in Major League Baseball happening today. The Sounds continue their series against Gwinnett, 7:05, first pitch. You can hear that on 94.9 ESPN radio with Jeff Him tonight. I believe tonight is just Friday tomorrow, right, that he is out. Is that right, Mo?
That's as far as I know.
Gotcha. Arkansas, Ole Miss, 3 o'clock. They are playing today. That game has been moved up due to incoming weather later tonight in Omaha. So 3 o'clock, a little afternoon baseball. Winner moves on. So it's an elimination game today, Arkansas and Ole Miss at 3 o'clock. WNBA action tonight, CBS Network at 7. You'll see Indiana at Dallas. Also at 7 on Facebook, Phoenix at Minnesota. And the doubleheader on CBS Sports Network concludes with Washington and Seattle, and the doubleheader on Facebook, Chicago out against Los Angeles, the Sparks. That will be a 9:30 tip. Yeah, LA is always at the bottom of the hour with their start times for games. It's an LA thing.
Because they got to be different.
Well,
Back when the Braves were on at 05 on the Superstation, just like
well,
GN.
LA also has traffic. There's that to deal with, which I think ultimately is the primary reason. That is your Thursday rundown, brought to you by Come On Down.
Insert your business here.
Come on down.
That's right. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we have Metro Nashville Athletics Director Mark North joining us. We'll talk about some more girls flag football as they announced their partnership earlier this week with the Titans and Titans community. So stick around. We'll be right back after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back to Main Street Sports today on this Tuesday afternoon. Quick update in Major League Baseball, in particular the Braves. Now top of the ninth, 7-5 Braves lead it, 3 outs away. The Giants at the plate. Jansen on the mound for Atlanta. So that's the latest there from that one. So fingers crossed, fellas.
They're going to one-run us to death.
That's right.
It's like every inning's just been one more run. So anyway, we'll get back to it later because right now we've got a special guest on with us, and that is Metro Nashville Athletics Director Mark North joining us here to talk a little girls flag football, something that we have been excited to talk about for a while. And Mo, this is a big deal. So it's nice to have nice to see the expansion of girls flag football in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, you kind of felt like it would. Obviously, they began it as a pilot program. The Tennessee Titans did with Williamson County schools, and it went over well this past spring. Played their championship tournament down at Nissan Stadium. You were actually there for that first weekend in May. And again, it felt like it was creating some buzz, certainly across the mid-state and probably throughout the state. You know, we'd gotten reports of other areas, other school systems showing some interest in it. And the next one to take it on is Metro Nashville. And so joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill, Renee Hart and those folks taking care of people throughout Marshall County and southern Middle Tennessee. So they got some really good stuff over there. Be sure and go check it out. Mark North joining us. Mark, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
No, man, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So there was an announcement earlier this week that Metro Nashville schools will play girls flag during the 22-23 school year. Will it be a spring sport for you guys as well?
It will be a spring sport, just about the same time that Williamson County had their league this past year. It's going to be in the spring, starting late March and run through till the first week or so of May.
You've got a few more schools than Williamson County does, obviously.
Mhm.
Will it be at every Metro Nashville school, or what do you? How far down the road are y'all with this?
Well, we're starting from scratch, right? So it is at the beginning, but we want to give the opportunity to all of our 15 schools that have athletics. Now, will we field a team with every school this year? Um, I'm not sure yet. Those details will all be worked out, but I expect almost all of them to have teams in the spring.
Would you see any type of scenario where you guys and Williamson County's programs might be competing against each other, or will this be strictly, Metro Nashville competition this time around?
I think this coming spring it will just be Metro Nashville. I think there will be conversations. They have a year under their belt, so we can learn from them. But I don't think I think this will be a separate, almost another pilot program this year. But I expect it will catch on quick, and I think the TSSAA we'll keep a close eye on it, and it may expand sooner rather than later.
Did you get a chance to go out to any of those games this past spring?
I did. I went out to Franklin one day, and of course they play 3 games, and so I got to see 3 games, and I went to the some of the championship tournament there at Nissan Stadium as well.
What is it about girls flag football that interests you to be able to add this to Metro?
Well, there are a couple of things. First of all, it is fun. The coaches were having fun. The kids were having fun. They were excited about it. It is and now you've gone to some of those games too, and most of your audience hasn't, but it is a fast-moving game. It's quick, it moves, it's exciting. The level of play is high. It's fun to watch, and it's obviously fun to play. And that was that's what sort of sealed the deal for me.
I think that's one of the reasons that softball has been so successful in recent years is because of the fast play of the game. So seeing, if you've watched any girls flag football, they don't mess around. They get up to the line, they snap it, they're playing because the clock is moving so quickly. So that, you kind of have to, and that you're exactly right. It is a quick moving game. And, what has been the response from your schools? Are they excited about this? Is this something they're looking forward to taking on and, kind of, kind of really embracing it like Williamson County did?
Yeah, they're very excited, and they come up to the coaches and administrators will say our girls are so excited. They keep asking me about it. They're looking forward to it, and it's almost universally people are really excited about the opportunity and can't wait to play.
Yep. Speaking with Mark North, the athletics director of Metro Nashville Public Schools, MMPS will be taking on girls flag football beginning next spring. There's an article up on the website at mainstreetpreps.com from Tyler Palmatier from a couple of days ago on this. Mark, as the spring evolved and this sport evolved in Williamson County, again, I feel like there were a lot of eyes on it across Middle Tennessee, across Tennessee. Were you in contact with other administrators from other school systems and that type thing? I mean, what can you tell me about the buzz that is out there with regards to trying to bring this to their areas?
I certainly met and spoke with Darren Joins of Williamson County several times to discuss it with him. I haven't really talked with folks outside those two school systems. I suspect others are contacting him to get his impression and experience over the past year, and I'm sure he's telling them, like he told me, it is a winner. It is exciting. It's fun. The coaches are really enjoying it, and the girls love it.
Tennessee Titans will be in partnership with you guys on this, and I'm sure that really, particularly in the early stages of this venture, makes it a lot easier for y'all to tackle.
Right. That support in both in sort of training, coach training, and some funding is important to it being successful. The launch earlier this week was really a skills camp clinic for the players, and blocking, tackling, and offense, defense, pass patterns, throwing the ball, catching the ball. All of the skills were part of this camp that was sponsored and put on there by the Titans there in the bubble over at their practice facility.
Now, do y'all have coaches defined or established yet, or how is that process coming along?
That will be at a school-based decision. Some have named it and move it, and some will wait until after school starts this fall to name their coaches.
There you go. That was
Sorry about that. Yeah, I saw.
good. You
I
just
saw
took
you. Yeah,
right out of my mouth.
I
Took the words.
I saw your facial expression when I asked. My bad.
That's
I'm
all
sorry.
good. Now, well, it is interesting because there are some Williamson County schools who have their head football coaches who take the reins, some former football coaches. So I'm really curious to see what coaches in Metro Nashville really, dive into this. I think there will be some good ones. Absolutely. So, Mark, before we let you go, just want to, kind of talk a little bit about the other partnerships. Obviously in Williamson County, they have uniforms with Matthews Team Sports, or, is that something that you guys are working for? Is that going to be a school-based, how they get their uniforms and their equipment, or will it be the Titans doing that? How will that work?
We are expecting some help from the Titans on
Sure.
the uniforms. The schools won't have to. We have to pay out of their school budgets for uniforms or equipment or anything to get this rolling. And this is a new venture, and we want it to be successful, and we want the schools to be successful, and we want to help them out as much as we can, and also know and plan for it to be a long-term venture, and be ready. I think the sport has a lot sort of riding on us. I think if we're successful at it, and I think we will be, it will move quickly through the process at the TSSAA and move statewide.
Yeah, that's what we keep hearing, because there's a lot of folks out there who would love to get involved with girls flag football. I know that obviously down here in Southern Middle Tennessee, we have a lot of great athletics, especially girls. So it's important to see the TSSAA get behind this. And we've talked with several different people at that level, and they kind of share the same sentiments, Mo.
Yeah, everybody seems to be excited about this, and so it's nice to see a second school system come on board with it. Mark North, the athletics director at Metro Nashville Public Schools, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill, to discuss Metro Nashville playing girls flag football in the spring of 2023. Mark, we appreciate you coming on with us this afternoon, and stay cool.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
That's easier said than done, Mo.
That's right.
Easier said than
It's a challenge.
Hey, nothing in life worth doing is
It's easy.
easy. So
There you
there
go.
you go. JP, do you have an update on the Atlanta Braves?
You don't want it.
It is. Where did it go? Where did it go?
It's final.
Final. Yeah, man. Where did it go? There we is. 7-6. Braves.
Told you.
They got to run.
Told you.
They got to run, but the Braves held on.
They started scoring their 1 run per inning a little too late.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Right
There we
got
go.
the win.
So,
Right got the win.
Wright
Did
got the
Kenley
win.
Jansen get the save?
Yes.
He did. He
Yes.
did. So
See, that's what he was doing. He was just making sure that it was a save opportunity.
Well, you can't create your own save opportunity, but it was when he came in.
By the time he came in.
Yeah. So they took 3 or 4.
Took
from
3
the
or 4 out of the
Giants,
Giants.
and the one they lost probably shouldn't have. But anyway, let's not get greedy. Let's be happy with 3 out of 4.
Happy with 3 out of 4.
Dodgers coming in. We'll talk more about this later in the show.
We will. We will. Looking forward to it. All right. When we come back, we've been talking College World Series in this next segment pretty much all week and a lot of last week. So we'll just keep doing it. So stick around. Main Street Sports, today presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yap here alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls. And it is a beautiful Thursday here in Columbia, down here in Maury County. Glad to be with you from the dimple of the universe. Just right there. On the right there in the very low country. At least low country here. It's not as low as other parts of the country, just a little east. Mo, before we get into College World Series, kind of, I guess, Nashville pertinent information, as Speedway Inc. founder Bruton Smith passed away yesterday.
I think it's Nashville centric, particularly this weekend.
Right.
Bruton Smith, one of the giants of NASCAR in its earlier years, I guess, died at the age of 95. Owns Charlotte Motor Speedway owns Nashville Super Speedway, site of this weekend's activities. And so pretty unfortunate passing, obviously, but especially with all the excitement going on around Nashville and NASCAR this weekend.
Yeah, that's it's got to be tough for Speedway Inc. Obviously, they're in the middle of doing and I'm not sure how involved he was recently, but you're in the middle of trying to put together a race weekend, and now you have to deal with this situation, and it is unfortunate. But one of the positive spins of this is that there's no question that now Nashville will get to honor him on Sunday in some way, I'm sure. And to do that at a site that, his company owns is at a site that was very meaningful to him and to his family, I'm sure. Statement from NASCAR chairman and CEO Jim France. Race fans are and always will be the lifeblood of NASCAR. Few knew this truth better than Bruton Smith. Bruton built his racetracks employing a simple philosophy: give race fans memories they will cherish for a lifetime. In doing so, Bruton helped grow NASCAR's popularity as the preeminent spectator sport. His vision and legacy inspired many, and his fan-first mentality remains today through his son Marcus. On behalf of the France family and all of NASCAR, I offer my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Bruton Smith, a giant of our sport. Member of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, member of the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, and certainly send our condolences out to the family of Bruton Smith, who passed away yesterday at the age of 95. Yeah, absolutely, no question. Moving on into the College World Series, yesterday Oklahoma was able to pretty much dominate their way through Texas A&M, but
as they have everybody else.
Again, we as we said yesterday, the wrong Oklahoma team got the national seed.
Yeah, no shade at Texas A&M.
No, I mean
they were just the latest victim.
Absolutely, 100%. And Arkansas, as you said, can't count them out. The Hogs get the win.
Omaha Hogs.
Apparently, there's some controversy to the Omaha Hogs.
Oh yeah,
Nick moniker. Apparently, with the Omaha minor league baseball team, who
the Storm Chasers
apparently at some point had used that moniker before Arkansas, and there was some
trade rights infringement happening here.
There was just some
trademark.
That's ours.
You can't do that.
Yeah. So, but yes, that's whatever.
Well, I saw a shirt last night that I had not seen from a Rebels fan. Omaha.
Yeah. So
I mean, everybody's making their own Omaha reference.
There's also Oklahoma Hall.
Yeah.
That's a little much. You got to kind of go a little bit for that.
You just got to add "ha" onto it. Oklahoma ha. It's this little emoji with Oklahoma ha.
Yeah.
There was some, and I don't remember where I saw it on Twitter, but it was.
I'm looking for it. I'm trying to Google it, and I'm not coming up with anything controversial. But oh, wait a minute. Okay,
this could just be Captain Chaos trying to find.
No, there was a ranking of the Omaha there was a media ranking of who made Omaha fit within their thing best,
right?
And number one was the Omahogs, but then someone who is a local media person informed everyone of this issue.
Well, I don't think anybody who played for the Omahogs is going to be taking any issue with this, because that was a minor league baseball team that played in the Western Association, Western League, in Western League 2 from 1889 to 1901.
Listen,
So
I'm just saying that there was.
I don't believe
there was
Statute of
some
limitations have run out. Is that what you're
controversy.
saying?
I don't think there's anybody left from the Omahogs to take exception to Arkansas's use of the term.
Listen, I'm just saying there was some media talk about it.
You know, maybe that explains some of the difficulties Arkansas's had in Omaha.
That's it. That's the problem.
The ghost of the Omaha
ghost of the
past.
Omahogs.
The ghost of the Omahogs it's the curse of the Omahogs.
Curse of the Omahogs.
The Babe Ruth and the curse of the goat, and now I got the curse of the Omahogs. This is the problem.
That's a much better story.
It really is. That is a story. As a matter of
Until you
fact.
do right by us.
Put that out in the ether.
There we go.
That's
Chris, see where
the
that
story.
goes.
I mean,
Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
Arkansas were to not
Mm-hmm.
win today, or were even to lose to
Yeah.
Oklahoma, that would 100% be my
Or
story.
some random error that happens that normally doesn't.
like not catching a foul ball down the right field line to close out
Yes.
the championship game.
Exactly. now we're thinking this might be real.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Oh, please let this be a thing. Please let this.
I really wish.
Can
I
we
could
start this?
I mean, absolutely. Because
So
nobody
what
else
has
is
to happen then? Somebody needs to burn an Omaha T-shirt or something, or
either that, or they need to wear a patch with the old Omahogs logo on it or something.
Yeah, let's hope that there's no sacrificing that needs to be taken.
They just need to pay their respects to their
That's right.
to their predecessors.
to their predecessors.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I wish I could find it. If there was a way for me to find that tweet, I would love to do it, but I just don't know where it is. But again, there was some sort of ranking, and Omahogs turned out to be number 1. Oklahoma Hogs was actually number 2. Omahogs being number 3, and I don't guess
They're not all called hogs, right?
I'm sorry, no.
Okay, I was just
That's not
making.
where I was.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, Omaha, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Do you have the list? Or there?
I think those are the 3. I don't think Texas A&M had anything.
Oh, so they were just doing the ones from this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody else who
has worked
fit
Omaha
the bill.
into. Yeah, I mean it's not an Omaha doesn't fit into Notre Dame.
No.
Or A&M.
No Mahater Dame. That's terrible. That's worse than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, big game tonight this afternoon.
I tell you, I was probably already rooting for Ole Miss, but I'm really rooting for Ole Miss now.
Just so this can be a thing.
So we can start this conspiracy.
It's the curse of the Omaha.
Curse of the Omahogs. Wow.
I'm here for it. 3:00 today, Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Top of the hour.
Yes. We'll play winner take all in bracket 2 for a chance to reach the championship series.
For a chance to get beat by Oklahoma.
I guess. And Oklahoma will then have swept baseball and softball.
If they can win, yeah.
That's the last time that's happened.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I mean, UCLA could have done it at some point.
Texas.
Yeah, or maybe an Arizona team.
Maybe Texas. I don't know.
I
Arizona
don't know that
baseball?
Arizona's ever won.
They never won the
College World Series.
Yeah, because Arizona State has been the one that's been there many times. Yeah, and Arizona has the softball team. So
I don't know if it's ever happened before.
I don't think it has.
That would be interesting. Anyway, let's take a halftime break. When we come back in the second half, got a lot. Got NBA draft, Braves, and a lot of Preds since Bill Haslam took the stand today. So it should be fun. Come back with us.
The city famous for its music is quiet now. but it's about to be overwhelmed by the symphony of speed. Nashville Super Speedway will be rocking from the pit to the grandstand. June 24th through 26th, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race weekend brings a mix of incredible racing and live entertainment. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com today and join the full throttle fun.
So apparently Notre Dame does have one. It's Domahaw for their Golden Domes.
That sounds too much like Homer Simpson's
Domahaw.
Thank you.
How about this one? Texas Omahorns.
Okay.
I don't mind
That's
that.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily Omaha.
I don't mind that. I still think Omahogs is your leader in the clubhouse, curses notwithstanding.
Stanford. What about Stanford?
They didn't have one, apparently.
They're too highbrow to have something like that, aren't
Well, I mean, what?
Well, I mean, you would think if anybody could think one up, it would have been
That's a good point.
Stanford.
That's a good
But
point.
Maybe they just chose not to mess with it.
They want nothing to do with any potential curses.
Right?
It's like, no, thank you. So, the Jello Shot Challenge.
Oh boy.
Arkansas and Ole Miss have been absolutely going head to head.
And this is a fans challenge. I
There is a restaurant / bar that sells Jello shots. They're $4.50 each, by the way.
This is in Omaha.
In Omaha, and then you have to tell them who you're rooting for, and then they
Gotcha.
put your number up there. Stanford fans bought 198.
Okay.
And we're not surprised by this.
Well, they weren't there long enough, really, to get many more than that.
Well, that's true, but they're also Stanford, so I don't see them doing a whole lot of Jello shots.
No, that's not the Jello shot. Sort
Yeah,
of crowd.
I mean, unless they were made out of like wine from Napa country or something.
Yeah, you know, it was a real quick side note. I went to the Vanderbilt Stanford football game last year, and there was a Stanford group tailgating next to us. Stereotypes are there for a reason. Let me just say that.
Nailed it. Texas with 304. Auburn with just 415. But I told you, $10 bill, pair of underwear, and don't change either one. I've told you. Oklahoma at 489. So
Okay.
they've been there. They ain't even celebrating. They're on a business trip.
Yeah.
They're on a business trip. 576 for Domahaw. Texas A&M with 1309.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. You thought that was good?
Well, there's
We're
no
getting
question
there.
Ole Miss has got to be in front
Well,
of
they
this
weren't. They were getting beat pretty badly
until they
at one point.
until they understood what was happening.
Until Alex McDaniel gets on Twitter and she's like, "This would be the worst loss to Arkansas in the history of Ole Miss's in the history of Ole Miss." So
See, here's what Ole Miss should have done in order to catch up. Now they're there, but instead of Omaha, how about Grove Mahal? Then they would have been out in front of this the whole time.
Oh.
Grove Mahal.
So Arkansas.
That's not bad, Mr. Plant.
There we go.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Texas A&M. Are we surprised that the SEC schools are
Just
at the top
means
of this? No,
more.
we're not. But Arkansas, 8,378.
And who's number 2?
Arkansas is number 2.
With how many?
8,378.
Arkansas is number 2. Okay, what's number 1?
8,766 for Ole Miss.
So they rallied.
They rallied
Yeah.
big time.
And they will not lose this.
No, they will not.
They
lose.
will.
The
if
only
they
way
lose
they
tonight,
lose this is if
no, they'll stay in Omaha
until
to win this, if nothing else.
it is the consolation prize. Ole Miss has bought $39,447 worth of Jello shots. You know how much it costs to make a Jello shot? About
Not
13
bad.
cents.
So is this restaurant bar is Is it going towards any sort of charity or anything? I'm not shaming them if it's not, but I'm just curious.
I don't think so. I think he's just making.
I mean, it's a hell of a business idea.
Look,
right?
It has its own Twitter account.
Oh.
And it didn't start until this year. The Twitter account started this year, 15,000 followers.
Oh, it will be gangbusters next year and moving forward.
By the way,
go ahead.
Florida won the 2015 softball national championship, and no, I'm sorry. Florida won the 2017 baseball national championship and placed as national runner-up in softball in 2017. That's the closest anyone has come to sweeping. So.
Being a small business that barely survived the pandemic, our family and our staff cannot thank everyone enough for supporting Rocco's and Lefty's this year, which is a fantastic name of a bar, by the way. This year, especially when we know there are many people still struggling to get their lives back in order. Being blessed with this run we're having this year during the series, Rocco's and Lefty's would like to give back some of our good fortune to both universities whose fans are taking such good care of us. Regardless of who sets the new series record this year, we would like to donate $2 for every Jell-O shot that has and will be purchased by each school's fans to the June B. Gerhardt Full Circle Pantry Food Pantry at the University of Arkansas and the Grove Food Pantry at Ole Miss. We hope to help students and staff who are experiencing food insecurities. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you, and let's keep it going.
Well done.
Cool. Those food pantries are fixing to get...
That's the best story out of Omaha right now. That's fantastic.
That was...
Well, that and the ghost of the Omaha,
curse of the Omahawks. Yeah.
Someone for Ole Miss bought $9,000 worth of
Jell-O
shots on one ticket.
Tell me, yeah.
And what do you tip on that?
9,000?
What do you tip on $9,000 for Jell-O shots that the bartender does not have to necessarily? I don't know who makes them, but that bartender maybe not.
Well, I mean, 20% is $1,800, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't get into semantics about who made it, who brought it to you.
But what?
And if you're spending $9,000, then you don't mind spending another $2,000 for a tip.
That's probably true.
Don't put that idea in people's heads.
Listen, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
I do think that
Couldn't be me, as they say.
I do think the higher the bill, probably the less percentage. Typically, I would think, but
you could tip
I don't
$1,000
know.
on that, and even $10,000, and you're good, right?
10% is $1,000. So I don't know because I never incur bills that are that high, or certainly not paying for them. So
Here's the thing: they're not drinking these. You don't buy 900 Jell-O shots to drink, right?
I'm buying them for the bar.
How many friends? Right? How many friends you got?
if it's free, you got a lot of friends.
There's that. I don't know. Anyway, we are way past time.
Everybody in the bar that night was that dude's friend.
Well, and was an Ole Miss fan, apparently.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Hotty toddy gosh almighty.
That's right.
Jello Mahal. Hey, come on.
I'll give you a ding for that one.
Let's take a quick break and try to talk about the Braves for 5 minutes. What do you say?
They won, and we'll be right back.
There you go. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
We're Reminder that we got Drew Hill, the Daily Memphian, coming up. Preview the NBA draft tonight. What are the Grizzlies going to do? All that and more coming up. But we want to get right to our daily Brad. I've been having, sounds like I've had a Jello shot or two. How many? 2,000 Jello shots this
2,000.
2,000. Wow. All right. Back to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao, as we get to talk about our Braves segment in a post-W.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good thing about day games, I guess.
Yeah, we could talk about both of them.
When you win them.
Especially when you win them. That's right.
Yeah, so, again, Braves with a 7-6 win over San Francisco just a few minutes ago to complete a series win over the visiting Giants. They won it 3-1, and most of them in pretty enthralling fashion. Again, 7-6 today, 4-3 last night, 2-1 on Monday.
Yes.
And even the one that they lost Tuesday, 12-10, they gave the Giants a scare late. Matt Olson's second home run of the ninth cut into a 12-8 lead before they finally faded. So
last night, not easy, though.
No, and none of them have been easy. I mean, the Giants are a good ball club, man.
That's the thing is, and again, they've only beaten the such and suches. Well, yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Give us
they beat who they played.
Bet is what I'm saying. Because Guillermo Heredia, Phil Gosselin, no Austin Riley,
Ozuna in
no
left.
Acuna,
Right. No Duvall.
No Duvall.
Duvall, who had the game winner last night.
I mean, come on, y'all. Dansby Swanson with a 2-home run day. Matt Olson had another one.
He had hit 3 home runs and 3 at-bats at one point,
right.
Going back to last night's solo homer in the ninth. Then he led off the top of the bottom of the first with a home run, and then in his next at-bat he hit one. So,
dude,
he
said, try to leave me off the All-Star roster, see what happens. Try. I mean, this lineup should never have scored 7 runs.
Especially off Alex Wood,
who I started in fantasy today thinking this lineup is not going to hit anything off runs, of Alex Wood, and yet here we are.
Oops.
Yeah, it is what it is. But, that's, again, part of this team is, for whatever reason, this has been the type of team that steps up in, when it's your time, it's your time.
Sure. And the Braves historically have had some success with their bomb squad.
Yeah.
So to speak. So wasn't a complete surprise, but like you said, that lineup didn't look like it was necessarily built to claim a series clinching win today.
Kyle Wright, another great start. He has really solidified this rotation.
Absolutely. I think he faded a little bit in the heat today, but no shade there. I mean, it was hot. I think it was 94 degrees at game time, and I'm sure it didn't get any cooler.
No, it did not. Tell us about this day in Braves history, Mo.
Oh, yeah, let me do that. June 23rd, 1986, Atlanta defeated the host Dodgers 6-5 on this day, and it could have been worse. Braves tied the National League record by stranding 18 runners over 9 innings, 10 in scoring position.
Of course they did.
Yeah. They were 6 of 18 with runners in scoring position.
That's tough.
And won.
That's it.
So there you go.
Let's talk a little NBA draft. I'm really curious how this is going to play out tonight. So the NBA draft is set for this evening, and we'll talk to Drew Hill of the Daily Memphian, find out what's going through the minds of the Grizz. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mo Patton, Chris Yao, and JP Plant here in downtown Columbia. Coming to you across the Main Street media platforms and soon to be to your smart TVs, Rokus, Apple TVs, Fire Sticks, etc., etc. We'll let you know when to download the Main Street Media app onto your smartphone or smart TV or anything else. So
iPad.
Anything else you've got that is smart?
That you can download. Yeah.
Only the smart ones, though.
I was going to say.
We're a smart company. Don't.
We're excited about this next segment, Mo, because anytime we get someone on from our friends at the Daily Memphian, it's a good time. Obviously, we've had John Varlas on previously. I think we've had Drew on before.
I don't think we've had Drew on before. We have had Frank Bonner on before.
Frank Bonner, that's who it was.
Yeah.
It's always fun to reach over into West Tennessee and talk about what's going on with the Grizz and with the NBA draft coming up tonight. No time like the present. So we welcome in from the Daily Memphian, Drew Hill. Drew, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? I'm checking out your studio there. I'm glad to see, as a proud Alabama graduate, that you found a way to work Alabama in there in the studio. I like it.
Well, Chris is an Alabama native, so we probably couldn't get around it. But you also see some Auburn and some J-State,
Jacksonville State,
State hockey, and there's definitely an Alabama flavor in here.
We're working on some Memphis stuff, though. I've got a Memphis Explorer pennant coming. Yeah, I tried to get a jersey, but he wanted $150, and I was like, "No, I'll just take the pennant for like $5."
We're good.
Yeah,
we're good. We're kind of balling on a budget here, Drew. So you understand.
Hey, those mini helmets are expensive now. I've looked at them. Those will cost you a pretty penny.
They're fun. They're fun though, and they're great for this set. So it works out for us.
We're trying to find an MTSU one, Drew.
If
you come across one,
okay,
we got you.
Not a lot of MTSU gear over here in Memphis, but
not
maybe
a lot of MTSU gear here in Middle Tennessee. But
We haven't found one on the internet anywhere. It's ridiculous. So.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon. I know you've got a busy evening. With the Grizzlies going at 22-29, obviously a lot has to happen ahead of them before they have an idea where they're going. What's the buzz down there?
Yeah, I think they're trying to trade with just about everybody already. They've been very aggressive in years past, moving into the first round to take players. So it should be no surprise that they are again being aggressive and trying to move up in this draft. I don't know if they're in a position where they really want to leave the first round with 2 guaranteed contracts and 2 rookies because they already have so much good young talent on the team. So I would actually – I think at this point I'd be surprised if they don't trade at some point in the first round. So you spend a lot of time looking at pick 22. You spend a lot of time looking at pick 29, and 29 could be a good value because of what that contract would look like for a rookie. So that they've got a lot of options. They got the way I kind of think about it, it's like when you go fishing and you have like 7 different lines and you're just kind of waiting for one of them to tug. I feel like that's sort of the position where they are right now. And they've drafted so well. If you're one of these other NBA teams, you're almost like, okay, why does Memphis want this pick? You know? So I think it makes it more challenging for them now to move around sort of the way that they want to, but they've got the assets to do it. They've got some players that will be wanted by other teams that are also expendable. And so they're in a good spot tonight. I would expect that it gets somewhat interesting with the Grizzlies tonight.
It's got to be a little frustrating as a beat writer, Drew, because like you said, they've got the 22 and the 29, and you have to prepare for them to execute both those picks, but you also know that there's a better than even chance that they're not.
Right. Yeah. So I spent all this time watching film on guys in the 20s and reading all the other people and asking the people that I trust that have draft opinions, whether it's former scouts or whatever. And you end up coming up with a list of guys that you like and players that you personally think will be good NBA players. And then, if they move to 13 with Charlotte or 15 with Charlotte, or if they can get to 11 with the Knicks, I think all those are possibilities. 18 with the Bulls. The range of players kind of changes. So you have to be prepared to sort of look at all those things. To be honest, I don't feel as confident about the guys in that range and sharing opinions about guys in that range simply because I've spent so much time looking in the 20s, and that's kind of what you have to do. You have to assume that they're going to use that pick first before they make any sort of trades or anything. So I have thoughts on certain guys, but as you mentioned, it's kind of hard to have a full grip on everything as a beat writer and not, they've got scouts that are paid to look at everybody. But for guys like, you and me, it's a little bit more challenging.
You mentioned 13 and Charlotte. And I know that this is probably not necessarily a need for the Grizzlies, but is there a chance that Jalen Duren could be on the board if they do move to 13 for Charlotte with Charlotte?
Yeah, I think there's a chance that he would be available.
Would they take him? That's the question.
I think that the Spurs have had some clear interest in Jalen Duren, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets past San Antonio. But it really depends. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been great at the 5 for the Grizzlies, and a lot of people see him because he's so good defensively as the future at center in Memphis. And Jalen Duren is more of a limited player in the paint. It's not that he can't shoot. It's that he's not really tagged as a great shooter. His athleticism is obviously off the charts. His body looks like you built it in a lab. So there's a ton to like there. And so if you're Memphis and you compare that with Jaren Jackson defensively, that would be a force, I think. So there's certainly some positives there. I think what Memphis should try to do is find a wing that can shoot it and can also, well, not necessarily have to shoot it, but they have to have the foot speed and be athletic enough to play on the perimeter and also strong enough to play the 4, so that when you do move Jaren down to center late in these games, you have a guy next to him that has the athleticism where you're not really losing anything, and you can allow Jaren to just kind of roam the paint and try to block shots. That's what I envision as the best pick for the Grizzlies. Someone that can do that.
Dalen Terry.
Dalen Terry is a great example, and Dalen Terry can pass. I think that aspect of his game fits really well in Memphis.
But they'd have to move up to get him too, you think?
Potentially. There's a chance that he could be there on the board, but he is one of the high risers, so you never know. But that would be a great example. Memphis wants to play defense and turn it into offense. They want to play in transition. They want guys that can run to the rim. They want to score as many points in the paint as possible. They want to be disruptive, and then they want to score around the basket. Dalen Terry's a good fit for the Grizzlies for that reason, and he's one of the guys I really like. Another guy that I really like for Memphis, I just watch him and I say, this guy is a Memphis Grizzly, is Kendall Brown from Baylor. And he might be a guy that's available at 29. He does a lot of the same things. He played in pick and roll at Baylor a little bit more than he will play in the NBA. But the guy runs to the rim. He jumps and dunks everything. He shoots 72% in the paint and around the basket, which is impressive. He has a slow shot, a shot that's going to need to change a little bit and develop, but he made a good percentage at the combine, and he didn't take very many in college, so it's kind of still an unknown as far as it goes with him and his outside shooting. And then defensively, he's strong enough to guard the 4, play next to Jaren, force people into turnovers, and get out in transition. That's what Memphis wants. They're losing Kyle Anderson, it sounds like. If they're going to lose anyone in free agency, it's probably going to be him. He was a big part of what they did in the playoffs, playing defense at the 4 and facilitating when Ja was out of the game, and sometimes playing backup point guard when he was hurt during the regular season. So they need somebody that can do all of that. They got to try to find replacements there. And so to me, I'm taking a wing that can guard 4s. That's what I want if I'm the Grizzlies.
Drew Hill of the Daily Memphian with us here on Main Street Sports today as we talk NBA draft that starts up later tonight. And a couple of names that you mentioned, or that the two of you guys have mentioned, Jalen Duren, the 6'11", 250-pound freshman out of Memphis, projected by CBS Sports to San Antonio at number 9. Dalen Terry, according to their projections, is set to go number 23, the 6'7", 195 sophomore out of Arizona, projected 23 to Philadelphia, one pick behind Kennedy Chandler, who they've got going to Memphis should they make that number 22 pick. A couple of local guys with some Memphis possibilities, I guess, there.
Yeah, Kennedy is a name that gets brought up a lot as it relates to the Grizzlies. And he's a Memphian. He played for the Vols. He went to Briarcrest here in Memphis. He was awesome in high school. I used to be the Memphis Tigers beat writer, so I, built it when they were recruiting him. I had a relationship, with his father and him, and they're really great people. And Ja Morant has actually been a mentor for Kennedy, and the two of them worked out together through a lot of the pandemic. Memphis could lose Tyus Jones. We'll see how the point guard market sort of shakes out at the end of tonight. I think that could change things a little bit. But there's certainly a good chance that they could lose Tyus Jones this offseason, which means they're going to need a backup point guard. I really like Kennedy as a player, and I think Kennedy is going to be a good pro. I'm just a little hesitant as it pertains to the Grizzlies of taking another 6-foot point guard who's not bad on defense, but just doesn't really have the size for the NBA level. And because Taylor Jenkins has this tendency to play point guards together at the same time. We saw a lot of Tyus and Ja together on the court in the playoffs. I just don't know if that's going to work defensively for the Grizzlies to have two really small guys out there. And so I would probably lean in a different direction if I were Memphis than Kennedy. I do really like Kennedy's game, and I think he'll be good. I just don't know if he's a fit for the Grizzlies.
What about at 29? Do you think he's more likely, if he's still there at 29, that he could be a flyer if they're feeling Tyus maybe leaving?
Definitely. I think that would be really good value. Yeah.
If they're at 29.
Yeah, if he's there at 29.
Well, if Memphis is at 29.
Well, if either of them.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very possible they might not be.
Neither of them is. Yeah, sure. Drew, do you feel like it is Jabari Smith and Chet Holmgren at the top of the draft?
Man, that is one of the most interesting storylines to me, because if you follow all the betting markets and all of that, there were these whispers that maybe Paolo could go number 1 overall. And so last night you start to see the market change, and now all of a sudden Paolo's the favorite to be the number 1 pick. And then you get to this morning, and I think obviously we know why that happened, right? Somebody came in with big money and put a bunch of money on Paolo Banchero and juiced him up, and so then he became the favorite to be the number 1 pick. And then you have Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN, tweet out this morning that the big boards seem like they're very set. Immediately all the lines go off. They take them all down. And when they reopen them, Jabari Smith is a minus 10,000 favorite to go number 1 overall. So obviously there's no one more plugged in than Woj. And so that made a lot of sense. And in the time since then, here comes Paolo back up, up these betting lines. And he's last time I checked, he wasn't far behind Jabari. And so if I'm Orlando, I personally believe in Paolo's future a little bit more. I think he's a little bit better of a shot creator. He's not as good of a shooter as Jabari Smith. So I would probably lean towards Paolo. But I feel like you can't go wrong with any of these 3 guys. So you may regret one day not taking Chet Holmgren or Paolo Banchero if you don't take them now. But in this moment in particular, how could anyone blame you for just picking one of those 3 guys? They seem like the clear top 3 guys.
FanDuel Sportsbook has Jabari Smith at a minus 280 favorite. Paolo is a plus 200 number 2. Chet Holmgren plus 2,300. And then everybody else is 20,000, because one of those 3 is going number 1, and it's most likely going to be Jabari Smith. But like you said, you never know what's going to happen until, Orlando is probably going to make the number 1 pick, but that doesn't mean they are going to make the number 1 pick. Who knows? It's draft night.
Yeah.
If Houston really wants Paolo and they feel like Orlando's going to take him, I think they'd be willing to give up some assets to make that happen. And if you're Orlando and Jabari Smith's going to be sitting there at 3, I would do that deal. Yeah.
You're going to get a Jabari or Chet either way.
Right.
Because Oklahoma City obviously can only take one of the 2.
Yeah, worst case scenario, it sounds like you leave with Chet Holmgren at number 3.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad worst case scenario, I don't think.
Chet, I think, has the lowest floor but the highest ceiling of the 3. That's the way I would like. We don't know. Gary Parrish, who works for CBS, you just mentioned their mock draft. He made the point on his show the other day, and I thought it was a very good point. What NBA player do you know that got bounced out of the league for being too skinny? Like, how many NBA players can you name that the fact that they were too skinny was the reason that they didn't make it in the league?
Nope.
I don't think I can name a single one.
Yeah. You think about the Sean Bradleys of the world, who, he had made a great career. Now, that was a different time, but who knows? I don't think that's going to be a problem.
That seems like the knock on him, though. And to me, I think it'll get worked out. I don't know if he's ever going to be a built guy. Yeah. I don't know if he's ever going to be this super strong dude, but I think he has the potential of those three to be the best player.
His skill set at his height really makes him a unicorn. I mean, I don't even know who his comp would be.
I don't know if I can think. I mean, everyone will say like that because he's tall and he can shoot, they'll try to say Kevin Durant or something, but not really. Like he's a shot blocker on defense. Like
right.
he's got great timing. He's a shot blocker. That's not what Kevin Durant is. It's really hard. I don't think if we've really seen anything quite like him.
Right. Which is going to make it really interesting to see where he winds up tonight. Drew Hill of the Daily Memphian with us here on Main Street Sports today. Drew, have fun tonight.
Yeah.
Don't work too hard.
I'm going to try. You know, it's the way that it works is all the Grizzlies media, we go downtown to FedEx Forum, and because, you know, Grizzlies GM Zach Kleiman will talk after the draft, and it's fun. Everybody's sort of sitting in the room waiting for the same thing to happen on the phone, and it's like it's total chaos, and you're just trying to crank out a story as fast as you possibly can and learn as much about these guys as fast as you possibly can. But it's a good time. It's a good time.
How many 3-paragraph player profiles do you have right now?
I haven't prepped any. Maybe I should. Maybe. But here's the thing, guys. We just went over this.
We just don't know.
We don't know where they're going to pick, right? Like I have files created that say Grizzlies select this, or this. I mean, it's a 3-minute difference, I think, honestly, just plugging in. But I truly don't know. And I think anybody that tells you that they know what the Grizzlies are going to do, they're lying to you.
Yeah,
I remember specifically after the draft last year when they took Zaire Williams, and no one thought that they were going to take Zaire Williams. He was off everyone's radar, right? We all were talking about Moses Moody and other guys like that. So they take Zaire Williams, and I remember specifically going up to some people in the Grizzlies front office after the draft and being like, wow, I mean, y'all really surprised us with this one. And someone looked at me, I won't name who it was, and said, just remember, mock drafts don't mean S. Like, people are lying to the people that are making these mock drafts intentionally because they don't want them to know who they're picking. And so if you think you have an idea of what the Grizzlies are doing, just remember the Grizzlies can't even give a basic injury update. They're that secretive. So I have no idea which direction the Grizzlies are going tonight, if I'm being perfectly honest. I know they're trying to trade, but I don't know where they're going to end up, and I don't know who it is that they're trying to move up to get.
Keep that phone charged.
Yeah, I got to go plug it back in.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See ya.
Good insight there from Drew Hill, the Daily Memphian. Check out @DailyMemphian on Twitter.
We could not find a Twitter.
We should have asked him.
We should have asked him. Right. Yeah. Because as of right now, we don't know what Drew Hill's Twitter handle is, or if he has one. I can't imagine he doesn't, but can't find it.
Not DRU Hill.
No.
That's what I would name. That would be my handle.
Oh,
not Drew.
There we go.
That would be my handle.
There we go.
Oh, let's come back and talk a little bit about the Preds and Stanley Cup Game 4 last night. So stick around. Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game, You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Good stuff there, Drew Hill, covering the Grizzlies as we welcome you back in. Final segment of the program here today, guys. And Chris, you just found his Twitter handle, right?
I did.
Yeah.
At Drew Hill.
Typing it in right now. So, yeah, we'll get up there. So our
_DM for Daily Memphian, not direct message. No.
Yeah.
No.
Could be, though. You never know.
Probably not.
Let's see. Are his DMs open? His DMs are open.
Oh,
so
I guess it could be.
You could slide on into the DMs.
You could, in fact, if you are so inclined. Bill Haslam met with media this morning, along with Herb Fritsch, current majority owner of the Nashville Predators, and I guess at some point in this 3-year transformational period, there won't be a majority owner.
Well, I would guess, as Bill Haslam acquires more shares of the Predators, I wouldn't think I wouldn't think at any point they would have the same amount.
Right, but who? Will one of the other minority owners actually have more than both of them at some point? Is my question.
It's hard to say because we don't know how it's
we don't know how
it's allotted or who owns what. So
and we don't know how much Bill is paying for Herb's shares.
No,
it's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting, and again, sort of like 2000 Jello shots. I mean, it's. Kind of first world problems, and I can't relate.
Haslam said, and this is from the Associated Press article. I'll give you a guess on who wrote it. For me, it's more about like this is just a really cool part of Nashville, and I want to make certain it stays that way. Haslam, who apparently played hockey when he was 10 and 11 years old, according to Teresa Walker. I'm new to this, having somebody that's been around and been a part of ownership group since the beginning of 2007 feels really helpful to me. So I guess he's really looking to lean on Fritsch for obviously some help. Did not realize that Haslam was an executive for Saks Fifth Avenue. And then, of course, we knew about his affiliation with Pilot.
Mm-hmm.
But Forbes estimates him to be worth $2.3 billion. With a B. And he did not rule out further investments in sports with a group in Nashville pursuing Major League Baseball and WNBA team.
All in.
I think sports is both an interesting and good investment long term, and I'm really bullish on Nashville. Well,
who isn't?
Well, sure. And here's the thing, this is a little unprecedented for a former governor to really, put himself back out there like this in sports ownership. I can't think of anything like this happening.
I can't. There's nobody that comes to mind.
I mean, it's really interesting that he would, that he really is putting his money where his mouth is, so to speak. I love it.
It's cool to see. The only concern is, as we talked when we first heard this, when you start associating HASLAM and pro sports, it kind of gives you a little bit of a chill.
Hey, calm down.
Yeah, right. But maybe
simmer down, Skillet.
Maybe they're just brothers.
Exactly, and they may not even like each other. We don't know. I got.
Yeah, don't associate me with him.
I ain't even like him.
Right.
But yeah, so Preds are in a transitional period, and unfortunately, it looks like they may be transitioning at the forward position, because it's looking more and more like Philip Forsberg is not going to be a Nashville Predator. So that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
No. And I don't know where you can go from here if he isn't.
He'll be Scoresburg somewhere else, I guess.
In Calgary. Oh, that's what they say. Why would you go to Canada if you want to win a cup? Haven't won one since '93. I'm just saying.
Maybe he knows some we don't.
Every time I watch both regular season games that I've seen the Predators play, they've played Calgary, they've lost, and in the last one we lost UC Soros. So I'm not going back.
That's a good idea.
I'm not going back.
You're banned.
I am banned. Self-banned. Self-banned from Bridgestone. So there you go. Come back tomorrow. Oh, I guess we said we talked about the Stanley Cup. So Avalanche won. They're going back to Colorado, and they're going to win it in one of the next two games. So there you go.
Yeah, they lead 3-1, right?
There you go. They're going to win it in Colorado. They just wanted to lose one game so they could win it there.
That's all you need to know.
Seems to be working. Yeah. Tomorrow we will have Willie Donick.
That's right.
At 2:15, who will be pinch hitting for Jeff Hem, talking little Sounds and maybe a little Predators as well. And
Well done,
then 3 o'clock.
Oh, yes. We still have Ty Norris as far as I know.
Okay. All right. Ty Norris with Trackhouse.
I haven't texted him today because he's in the middle of changing some tires on Broadway.
Has it started yet?
I don't know what time it starts.
Well, hopefully we will have Ty Norris from our favorite racing team.
That's right. Trackhouse Racing, baby.
Yeah.
Here we go. 2 o'clock tomorrow. Y'all come join us. Until then, see you later.